To enter this month's giveaway, all you gotta do is drop a like and subscribe, and then hit that bell next to the subscribe button, as well as comment down below what card you want. I'll be giving away a $10 Steam, $10 Xbox, and $10 PlayStation card. The more you're active on my channel, the higher chance you have for winning. And for an even higher chance of winning, all you gotta do is follow me on Twitter, and then hit that bell next to the follow button on Twitter, as well as share this video and @ me on Twitter when you share this video. There will be only one winner for this month, and it will end on October 10th, so good luck to everybody. What is up, all you amazing people? My name is Nick, and welcome back to a cut content of Call of Duty video. So as of requested, today's cut content video will be aimed towards Modern Warfare 3. So if you don't know what this series is, basically I go over cut content from your favorite Call of Duty games. It can be over guns, maps, perks, camos, and anything like that essential. But I will try my best to get most of the cut content, but I won't get all of it, so I'm very sorry about that. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So what I always start off with is giving you guys history with me in this Call of Duty, because I've been playing Call of Duty since COD 4, and then I'm going to go straight into the cut content. So MW3. MW3 was a pretty fun game for me, honestly. Like, I retaliated a lot on this game the first month it was out, and I didn't buy it till the second week it was already out, because they changed my favorite gun, which was the ACR from MW2. They completely changed how I look, and I thought it looked disgusting in MW3, so I didn't play it. And when I did get it, I did not touch anything but survival for, I think, about a week. Yeah, I was very pissed about them changing the look on the ACR, because I really loved the ACR in MW2. But after playing survival for a week, my friends did influence me to play the multiplayer, and I did play the multiplayer, and I had a bunch of fun. And then I put the ACR difference aside, and I still used it, and it was really fun. It was a really fun game. The campaign was amazing, a continuation from MW2 and COD 4, which is really cool. It was pretty sad too, because spoiler alert, they killed off a lot of people, and it hurt me so hard, because I grew up playing COD 4 and MW2, and then ending it off with MW3 and seeing everybody die was like, it was really sad. It was really sad. This was the first Call of Duty I actually never bought any DLC from either. I remember this Call of Duty having a ton of DLC. I think they were called collections, if I'm correct. I don't really remember, but I think this Call of Duty had 5 DLCs. I don't remember. It most likely had 4, but I remember it having a ton of DLC maps, like a lot of it, and I didn't really buy any of them. And then when they added Face Off in this game, I started playing this game like nothing. I hit 10th Prestige on this game, and then when they added 10 more extra Prestiges, which was the first Call of Duty to ever add 20 Prestiges, I was like, whoa. And then when I saw that 11th through 20th is just the same Prestige symbol with a different Roman numeral number, I was like, I'm not doing that. So I stayed 10th for a pretty long time in this game, and it was boring because I didn't level up or anything. But either way, it was still fun. It also was the first Call of Duty to have Infected. This was the Call of Duty that started the whole Infected thing. And this was the first Call of Duty I ever gotten a big kill streak on, which is the Moab. And I remember getting that a lot. And I still have the theater mode clip of it on MW3. I can't really get it because I don't want to hook up my 360. It's a lot of work. But I was like having a ton of blood rush, and it was really fun, and I really did like it. And from then on, I tried to go for other MOAs, but I could never get it. I really could never get it. Overall, this Call of Duty was a pretty fun time, and I still remember it to this day. It was a really nice time, and I was like 12 years old when this happened, when this whole Call of Duty happened. So yeah, I was pretty young. But if you guys have any history with MW3, please comment down below. But without further ado, it's time for the cut content. So the first thing I'm going to go through is the guns. So there are a lot of Modern Warfare 2 guns that are cuts from the game, and I think they're mostly placeholders. If you don't know what a placeholder means, basically meaning I think they are models of the guns to placehold for the guns that were going to come out for the original game, which is Modern Warfare 3. So the first gun is the M240 light machine gun. It was cut late in development, however, it still appears in the Wii version of the campaign level goalpost. And yes, I'm going to give a difference with the normal console generation, which is the Xbox and the PlayStation and PC. Well, not console generation, but that side of MW3 with the Wii version. I'm going to tell you guys what was different with the Wii version than the originals, like MW, or not MW, like the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC ones. The next gun is the RPD. It appeared on a few trailers, but was cut and replaced by the PK PKP. That's what I'm saying. The RPD was most likely a placeholder for the PKP. Next gun is the FAMAS. It was planned to be used by the GIGN, but it was cut on early development. The next gun is the Vector. It was planned to be in the game, and it was even seen on early trailers, but nobody knows what really happened, just probably was cut from the game. And the next gun is the AUG HBAR, the light machine gun from MW2. It was planned to be in the game, but was cut, but the game files still remain in it. The next gun is the F2000. This gun was supposed to be a kill streak, or a cut kill streak, as a target laser. That's pretty interesting, but it was cut in development. Next gun is the M93 Raffica. It has created class images that still remain in the files. Next gun is the PP2000. Bump maps still remain of it. And the next gun, oh my god, this gun makes me angry. The AK-74U. It appears in campaign, but a created class icon exists. And it does appear in a special ops mission, if I'm correct. And the AK-74U, if you ever tried it in campaign, it was amazing. And I thought they were going to add it into the game in a later update, or everybody actually thought they were going to add it to the game in a later update, because it appears in the special ops and campaign, but they never did, so everybody was kind of salty about that. I don't know why, but the Modern Warfare series always had a tendency to show at least one or more guns that are cut from the game, or not game, but are cut from multiplayer, but are in the campaign and special ops. In COD 4, I think the cuts, no, in COD 4, the cut stuff, it's not a gun, but it's cut attachments, not stuff, is like the multiple of 3 attachments or 2 attachments, which would have been awesome for multiplayer. And then in MW2, it's the M14, if I'm correct, the M14, it's the M21 EBR without the sight. And then in MW3, you see AK-74U. The next gun is an MK12 SPR. It's basically the M4A1 from MW3 with an RSAS scope and bipod. Nobody knows what this gun would have looked like. That's just basically its placeholders, but it was cut in the game. Next one is the Ranger. There's created class images remaining for it still. Next gun is the M1911 from COD 4. Created class images still remain. Next gun is the Intervention. Created class images still remain. Next gun is the AT4, that rocket launcher from the B2. It is seen in early E3 game trailers, actually. And then what's pretty interesting is a gun from World at War is cut from this game. The Lee Enfield. There's still icons in the files, actually, so that's pretty interesting. The next gun is the MP44, aka the STG. The files still remain for it. And the next gun is the TMP. There's created class icons for it that still exist. The next gun is the TAR-21. Images still remain for it. And then the last 3 guns is the MG42, the M1014, and the M9. There are still icons in the files that can be seen in the files of MW3, but the M9 can still be found in campaign missions, actually. And the last 2 guns is the M21 EBR. It uses MW3 engine images, suggesting that it might have been cut in late development. And then the last gun is the Gold Desert Eagle from COD 4. There are images for it in the files. There also is one last cut content gun, which is a glow stick, actually, and it's pretty interesting on how this works. Nobody really knows what would have been the purpose for the glow stick, but you can get it through the files of modding the game and all that, which is pretty interesting. It's actually pretty cool that you can get a glow stick in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Now it is time for perks. I'm going to try my best to show you guys most of these perks. I'm probably not going to get all of them, but I am going to try my best to show you guys most of these perks. Alright, so the first perk we have here is Extended Mags. It works just like the attachment does in the final game. The next perk is Black Box. It is a cut perk from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 that was supposed to be in MW3, but they cut it, and what it would have done was it would have increased your amount of time for air kill streaks. The next perk is Challenger. It would have doubled the amount of XP earned for the trade of lower health. That actually would have been pretty interesting, but you would have probably died in one shot. Then the next perk is a remote MG turret. It shares similar visual styles with perk images in the first 2 Modern Warfare games, but possibly the remote MG turret was cut probably because it was really unbalanced for multiplayer. There's also a perk for the Tactical Insurgent. This icon was actually revealed in the multiplayer reveal trailer for MW3, but was removed in the final game, so that's pretty interesting. There also appears to be an early icon of an Akimbo perk that also shares similar design schemes to Perk Icons in Modern Warfare 2. Seems like most of the lethals and attachments and all that, they were planning to make them perks, but you know, they made them a little bit easier to acquire through attachments and all that than just having them as perks. The next perk icon is the free runner perk. It would have allowed you to run for an infinite amount of time, similar to MW2's marathon perk, but was cut. The next perk is Shellshock. It is a perk that would have given you a attached riot shield on your back to protect you against shellshock damage and bullet damage. It probably was cut because that's really OP. Like, everybody would have used that. The next two perks are actually similar to the RPG perk from COD 4. It's Javelin ×1 and Stinger ×2. They were probably cut because they were turned into weapons instead of a toggle ability, really. Because why would you want that as a toggle ability? It's like next-gen gaming right there. MW3 was a totally different experience than COD 4, so why not make them guns? The next perk is Sabot Ear. It was a perk that was supposed to allow you to capture objectives faster, but this was probably cut because of balancing factors and or development problems. The next perk is Siege. It is a perk that immobilizes your player, basically makes it where you can't move, but gives greater accuracy and recoil. Nobody actually knows this is a perk. I'm just saying it's a perk, but due to the image designing, nobody really knows if it's a perk, really. The next perk is Endgame. It multiplies the player's health ×4, but players only live for about 10 seconds. So hear me out here. They live for 10 seconds, but their health is ×4, and they die after those 10 seconds every single time. It was probably cut because that's completely useless, and that's a really dumb perk, so I'm glad they took that out. And then the last perk is Burst Fire. It basically makes it where your guns can shoot 3 bursts, but the game refers it to being as Mozambique. If I'm saying that correct, I don't know if I'm saying that correct, but Mozambique makes the user's gun shoot in a 3-round burst, but it was probably cut because that's pretty dumb. It was also made for MW2 and was cut too. Now it's off the multiplayer maps. Now there are a lot of cut multiplayer maps from MW3 that were supposed to be from MW2. Like, for example, Rust was supposed to be in MW3 as well as High Rise, but they were later put into future Call of Duty games, actually. But here are some maps that were pretty new. The first map is Alps. Judging by the weird texture, it was probably cut early, where the map's description says Cal's first map in some placeholder text. The next map is Coast. A preview image is quite larger than the other map preview images, but it appears to be an unfinished map, which explains why it was never made into the game. It bears a resemblance to the DLC map Black Box and the DLC map Piazza. I don't even know if I said that right, really. But here are some cut maps that are, or not cut maps, but they're early development maps that are technically cut to be totally different. The first map is Plaza, and that is an early version of the map Arcaden. Looks pretty weird, right? The next map is Meteora. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Meteora, I'm just going to call it Meteora. But it's basically an early version of the DLC map Sanctuary with all the graves and all that, because it has a lot of graves, so, or a whole cemetery, really, so that's pretty interesting. Now it's time for the last cut items, and that is camouflages. And I'm not going to show images of them because literally all the cut camos are just the MW2 camos. The red tiger MW2, the blue tiger MW2, the woodland, the arctic, the desert, the digital, the urban, and the fall. Those were all cut, and they were supposed to be in MW3, but they completely cut them because I guess they revamped them because they are in MW3, so they did revamp them. But that's basically pretty much it for cut content for MW3 for Xbox, PlayStation, and the PC. Now this is what the Wii has that is a big difference with the normal version of Call of Duty MW3. So the Wii doesn't have kill cams. Its private match customization is more limited. It has no downloadable content, and the players have an ally friend code that is for other players to send ally requests to them if they have not encountered each other in multiplayer. It also has no special op missions, though survival mode is still present. Also, the Recon Drone, Predator Missile, Reaper, and AC-130 kill streaks are not available, although the Predator Missile is available through modding. And then the Prologue and Blood Brothers interactive cutscenes in other consoles are simply just normal cutscenes. And also the game modes Gun Game, Infection, One in the Chamber, Team Juggernaut, and Drop Zone are not available normally, but are playable through modding. The Winter and Marine camos are unlocked after prestiging once instead of being unlocked through Elite, which isn't available on Wii. Breakable glass windows also appear in the maps Carbon and Outpost, And the SIP rep perk works differently. Instead of seeing fake care packages highlighted in red, a skull appears over them. And some weapons have different loading sounds, and you can't see Price's reflection against the broken glass in the Dust to Dust mission. And also, Sandman has no sunglasses, and Makarov has short hair in the Wii version. So that's all the differences with the Wii version of MW3 and then the normal version of MW3, which is the Xbox, PlayStation, PC. But that's basically pretty much it for this video, guys. If you guys know any cut content that I didn't say, please comment it down below. Also, all the content I do not own in this video will be posted in the description below for credits like gameplay, images, and all that. But I hope you guys did enjoy this, and if you did, drop a like because it'll help me out a ton. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe for more amazing content uploaded every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Also, this used to be an interactive series where you used to comment down below what Call of Duty you wanted next, but now the last Call of Duty that's coming up is World at War, because nobody picked World at War, and that's pretty weird because World War II is around the corner, and the World at War cut content video will be coming out shortly before that game actually comes out. So stay tuned for the cut content of Call of Duty World at War. I'll also pop a card to all the other cut content Call of Duty videos I have done right about now, and I'll also put in the description below if you want to check it out after this video. But that was basically pretty much it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So stay amazing, and peace, guys.